Hello and welcome to another anime lore and theory video. I'm Shergog, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at what the Dragonlords did after the 8 Greek kings had destroyed themselves. Because after the end of the 8 and the rise of Ainz Ooal Gown, half a century had passed. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as say thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's get to the topic at hand. An apocalyptic war that shook the world to its very foundations. One single conflict that ended something that the New World seemingly always took for granted. As a fact of life. The rule of the Dragonlords. It had been the 8 kings of Everis, 8 players who arrived in the New World 100 years after the 6 players who are now worshipped as gods and slain. Who did this? These 8 kings overthrew the dragons, who had previously ruled unchallenged, only to then tear themselves apart in a cataclysmic civil war, turning their immense strength against each other, and losing their seemingly assured victory due to internal strife. The empire crumbled, leaving behind a world in which the 2 definitive ruling powers, first the dragons and then the kings, had been broken in quick succession. What remained of the kings was, apparently, the legacy of tier magic, a magic system that seems to have been brought into the New World from Yggdrasil Online, and is now increasingly replacing wild magic, the original magic of the New World. Another random is Eriantiu, the former capital of the 8 kings. 300 years after their downfall, it supplied the 13 heroes, who were tasked with repelling a horde of invading demons, with powerful artifacts and weapons. But these aids were denied to the legendary Fluder Paradane, once he asked for them. As for the dragons, they left behind nothing but chaos. Their power was decimated, their numbers dwindled, and the new generations of dragons no longer learned the magic of their ancestors, the magic of the soul, wild magic. Instead, they were forced to adopt the hated tier magic system from Yggdrasil, seemingly natural, as a rule of life. And this raises the question, what did the defeated yet surviving dragons do? Well, we know that not all dragons fought on the same side, and that the 8 kings did not hunt every single last dragon to extinction. Some dragons chose not to fight, and survived by avoiding the battle altogether. And one such dragon was Cur Elim Los Malvar, a dragon who, paralyzed by fear and weakness, was unable to participate in this great conflict. He feared the players too much to take up arms. But once the players were gone, he made it his sole purpose to prepare for their return, to ensure that if new players have appeared, he would be able to defeat them. And to achieve this, he performed an enormous undead ritual, sacrificing an entire kingdom and turning himself into an undead, thereby transforming himself into the now legendary Elder Coffin Dragonlord. And the power he gained was not only in the form of magic, and his control over a 1,000,000-strong undead army, which he wore like a suit of armor, but also in his freedom from fear, anxiety, insecurity, and deep-seated shame. Just like Ainz, Cur Elim became emotionally immune, calm, collected, analytical, and calculating. His emotions were now suppressed by the very nature of his new undead existence. And so his training to become stronger and stronger, to defeat any newly arriving players began. And during his research into magic, he also begrudgingly learned tier magic, despite his deep-seated hatred and disgust for it. Instead of just solely focusing on wild magic, his undead body suppressed any shame or disgust he must have felt while studying the enemy's magic, and making it his own. However, this cold, detached approach to his undead subordinates, who were supposed to teach him, such as the Elder and Night Liches of the Corpus of the Abyss, could come back to haunt him, now that Ainz Ooal Gown has arrived in the world. For if Ainz is present, then the undead Corpus of the Abyss may very well defect to his side, in search for better working conditions. And one of the dragons apparently succeeded over 300 years ago, where Cure Elim, at the very least in the bonus volumes, had already failed. Deep Darkness Dragonlord managed to eliminate a player and seize his world-class item. A significant victory for the dragons. However, it seemed that Deep Darkness Dragonlord prefers to remain isolated. Perhaps he is a Hikikomori dragon, like Hanjabal, or maybe he's trying to protect himself through solitude. After all, as mentioned before, the 8 Kings of Greed did not randomly hunt down dragons, but targeted only those who actively participated in the war against them. So we have here a dragon who not only possesses a world-class item, but was also strong enough to take it from a player. A remarkable feat considering world-class items make their users immune to the dragon's original wild magic. Moving on to Brightness Dragonlord, and this one apparently had fathered a child with a human woman. And somehow she survived the experience. Hopefully this was only possible because the dragon could assume a human form via a polymorph spell. If not, I will leave the rest to fanfiction writers and illustrators. Regardless, the result of this union is the royal bloodline that has ruled the Dragon Kingdom for 4 generations. However, Draudilon Auriculus has a problem with her magic. Any being considered a Dragonlord should be able to use wild magic, the original form of magic in this world. And again, she can kinda do it, and this, technically speaking, makes Draudilon a true Dragonlord. But her diluted bloodline makes it difficult for her to use this very magic of her ancestors, and because of this, she is often referred to as a false Dragonlord, or as a true false Dragonlord. In other words, the most powerful weapon that the Dragon Kingdom once possessed has now become almost unusable, at least without the sacrifice of 1,000,000 souls. Dark Souls players might be familiar with this very concept. Meanwhile, Brightness Dragonlord has been absent for centuries, not once showing himself to the Dragon Kingdom, even though he could have easily defended his offspring's lands. Apparently he is still trying to get some smokes. After all, seriously, he is still capable of using wild magic without any of those restraints, and he could have effortlessly wiped out the Beastman armies currently overrunning the Dragon Kingdom. Instead, Draudilon was forced to turn to Ainz Ooal Gown, a player for help. And of course the Platinum Dragonlord or Tsarandorkus Vasion has not been idle either. He too has witnessed the devastation of the world. And there are strong indications that Platinum is the son of the Dragon Emperor himself, who fell in the war against the 8 Kings of Greed. And we know that Platinum Dragonlord sees himself as the protector of the world, and hates and despises the influence of Yggdrasil Online. And because of this, he was the one who built new nations across the nameless continent of the New World. And one of these projects still exists at the western edge of this continent, the nation of Arkland, a council state ruled by 5 Dragonlords, with Platinum among them. Within its borders, other species of the New World are taught wild magic, thus preserving the magic of the past and giving it a future. In a way, Platinum has spent centuries trying to revive and restore the old magic, while also attempting to hold back the players and hostile NPCs from Yggdrasil Online. And it is also known that Platinum has already eliminated players before, and possesses extensive knowledge about them. But Platinum doesn't seem to be focused solely on Ainz. It appears that he also had a hand in why Corpus of the Abyss was so secretive. Why these powerful demi-liches, elder liches, and night liches hid from the wider New World. Even though as powerful liches, they could have easily conquered entire nations on their very own. In other words, Platinum Dragonlord is trying to preserve the wild magic of his old world, and resist the invading forces of Yggdrasil players and high-tier NPCs. And he was even one of the 13 heroes and helped banish the so-called evil gods, NPC monsters from Yggdrasil Online, or perhaps even monsters that once belonged to a players, or were indeed summoned by him. 200 years before the events of the main story. And now he stands against the Great Tomb of Nazarick and its inhabitants, and Platinum has already fought Sheltier Bloodfallen and Pandor's Actor, proving himself to be a significant force. So while the defeat against the Kings of Avarice shattered what little unity the dragons had, Platinum and other surviving dragons have spent centuries trying to keep newly arrived players at check and revive their old ancestral magic. And then Ainz Ooal Gown had arrived. And that's it for today. And now it's your turn. What's your opinion on the topic? Let me know it down in the comment section. And while you're typing, I say thank you very much for watching. Thanks to all of my Patreons for supporting this channel. And as usual, I say my special thanks to Ada Daddy Ada, ASK, Bad Guy Yee, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon S, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Din Pep, Dragonlord Placido Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feralchivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Haster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Le Louche Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Loverazor, Merowek, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pentum, Personage, Ruru, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Q&A Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Sir Axolotl, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenokai, and Sonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.